This video is going to be a little bit different than usual. I have a 1/18th scale Acid Rain figure set right here. So for those of you who don't know, Acid Rain is a 1/18th line of figures that have a very Helldiver-esque look. It's very post-apocalyptic, very weathered, and it's very premium, at least in terms of the price. Acid Rain is not cheap. So what I want to do today is I want to look at this and I want to see, is the price worth it? And then we are going to take this guy out and do some post-apocalyptic toy photography so I can show you that even getting one figure, you can do a lot with just the one figure. Big thank you to Caucus Toy for providing this. If you guys want any Acid Rain stuff, any Joy Toy stuff, or any other specialty action figures, highly recommend you check out Caucus Toy. They are great, and I've worked with them a fair bit. Very, very happy. Their selection on their site continues to improve all the time. They even have like a ton of third-party Transformers, so if you want some of those, Caucus is the place to look. The majority of my 1/18th figure experience has been with Joy Toy, and Joy Toy is great, especially with Warhammer, but they don't have the right Halo/Helldivers-esque style. There's not the everyman. There's less chances for me to create my own stories because I have to work within the constraints of their stories. This, on the other hand, has just the designs that I've been looking for. This artwork is done by Kit Lau. I believe he started this whole line. Look at that. It's basically a poster. It looks amazing. This is so Helldivers-esque. This is the 88th Sand Team, and we get some instructions on how to assemble the bunker. The figure comes packed quite nicely. Here is the bunker. We'll get a closer look at that in a second. And then the figure himself is right in here, all packed up in some plastic. And then we get a bag of extra weapons and an extra vest. The Sand Bunker is a multi-use set piece. So there are moving parts like this. If you get a trailer set, this will become armored sides. We can see the 88 Sand Team logo on there. Great print work, great paint job all around. This comes apart, which then becomes two set pieces, and you can turn this by folding this and folding this into a different type of set piece by attaching them together like that. So there's a lot of functionality in just this set piece. For accessories, you have a very large Gatling gun as the main accessory, an assault rifle that makes me think very much of the Helldivers Dominator gun, a little SMG all in gray, a pair of pistols also all in gray, a combat knife, stubby little guy, and an extra combat vest. This one is a little different than the one the dude is currently wearing, so you get some customizing options. Pistols are a little awkward for our boy to hold, but he does include holsters on each leg, as well as a little spot for the combat knife. Assault rifle can be shouldered nicely. SMG works pretty good, although it's a little easy to knock out of his hand. And the Gatling gun is super easy to equip, but man does it add a lot of weight to his front. So he is gonna be difficult to stand while using this thing. The figure himself has a ton of detail, so much weathering, so grungy. I absolutely love it. The design is pretty good as well. I like the look of the joints. The elbows are a little bit eyesore-ish, but the rest are pretty well hidden. For size, we have a Lego figure, a Mega figure, a Blockies figure, a Joy Toy Cadian, Joy Toy Lieutenant Titus, a Black Series Clone Trooper, and finally the 1000 Toys Master Chief. For articulation, you get upward on the head, fantastic. Downward on the head, side to side, bump a little bit, back and forth. Shoulders, you get all the way around. Upward to the side is limited somewhat by the shoulder covers. Waist is a swivel and you have a slight ab crunch, limited by the vest. Hips come out to about there. There is a rotation. Hips are slightly loose, but that's an easy tighten. Knees have double joints, pretty solid bend. Wrists, back and forth and full 360. Elbow bend, single joint. Ankles backwards to about there. Forwards quite limited. Side to side for days. And then you get rotation. Aside from the loose hips and somewhat limited ankle forward movement, I think this guy is going to work great for what we have in store for him. So for gear, I'm going to be using my trusty Nikon D7100. Currently, it has a 60mm macro lens on it. That's kind of my go-to, but I also have an array of other lenses to bring along just in case I need to change things up. I'm going to be using an Amaran light. This is a little tiny one. And then there's a slightly larger, newer light that has color changing mode. That's really important. And then finally, I'm going to bring an array of 1/18 accessories that I've collected from across the internet and from in my own collection to just fill out the scene a little bit more. And now it's time to get all of that gear, head out and take these photos. So now that we've finished the photo shoot, it is time to edit. And the editing process is something that I find really, really fun. I always use Photoshop. That's my go-to tool for every and any photo edit, whether it's just doing color or adding effects or any of it. This edit is gonna be a little bit tricky because I am using the same figure 3 times in one photo. Like I said, this is a somewhat pricey figure, so I wanna make as much use of it as possible. So what I did was I shot this photo with the camera on manual focus. That way the figure in the background and the figure in the foreground will have the proper out of focus look, while the guy in the middle will have the in focus. Basically, you layer them together and erase sections of it so that the photos are seen through each other. So we're erasing the foreground of the one photo, erasing the background, that sort of thing, making sure you can kind of see all the layers, making sure things overlap properly. That's a big, big thing. I had to cut out the guy in the middle to make sure he overlapped properly. And then from there, it's all about adding the effects. The effects for like the muzzle flares are something that I really enjoy doing. I always use sparkler or fireworks photos, and with the right blending mode and the right amount of blur and motion blur and that sort of thing, you can make it look like a really, really good like gun shooting effect. And then from there, it really just making everything look right, making the colors look right. This is a post-apocalyptic war type of photo, so we want it to be real dark, real dingy, real grungy. And of course, we need some blood for the guy that's fallen. I don't typically add a ton of blood in my photos, but adding it little bits here and there, I think can help the photo feel that much more realistic. Don't overuse it though. This is the first time that I've tried layering photos like this, and I'm thinking that it's coming together pretty good. So let's wrap this up and take a look at the final shot. And there we go. That is the final shot. I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. I wasn't sure if my theory of how to layer them was gonna work, but I think it turned out pretty convincing. I really like the way the color came out as well, how dingy and grungy it looks, while also having the kind of harsh orange of the muzzle flare, the orange of like, there's clearly some fire or something off screen. It just is a juxtaposition of the dark kind of feeling of the landscape and the violence of the war. I'm actually very pleased too with the guy that's shot up against the wall. Like the posing turned out really good, and then that blood effect doesn't always turn out the way I want it, but today it really did. You may have noticed though that I shot more than one photo with this photo shoot. I did, I shot like 6 or so. If you want to see all of the final shots, go to toyphotographers.com. I will have a link in the description in the pinned comment, and I have a whole article there showing off all of the photos that I shot on this little photo shoot venture. So again, a huge thank you to Calcus for providing this figure, and a huge thank you to the folks over at toyphotographers.com for allowing me to write the article for them. Seriously guys, highly recommend you go check out the Toy Photographers blog. I've written for them before. I even have an article about Mega versus Lego on there, so you can check that out too if you want. I am quite pleased in the end with these acid rain figures. I am excited to do more photos with them. They're very expressive. Yes, they're expensive, but I feel like how much use I got out of the one figure with one photo shoot makes the price worth it. They also just look really, really good on camera. So if you want to get any of these guys, if you want to get this particular set that I reviewed here, or if you want to get any other acid rain figures, I will put a link in the description in the pinned comment for you to go and check out. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and let me know what you think of this new video format down in the comments below. I'll see you next time.